If you're at a place in your life where you feel like your marriage or relationship is failing, there's always a couple simple things you can do to get that spark back. The first thing I always suggest when you feel like your marriage is failing or not working is to work on yourself. There have been times in my relationship where it just didn't feel as energetic as it used to feel. But I always found in those times, it was always me who needed the work. It was my energy that needed to work. Either I wasn't feeling confident, I wasn't feeling on track, I wasn't feeling like I was where I was supposed to be in life, and that reflected on both of us. You have to realize as a man that the woman that you're with will always radiate off of your energy. Whatever energy you put out, she will feed off of it. So if you have this internal conflict feeling, she's going to have conflict with you. If you have this feeling like you're down on yourself and you're depressed, she's going to give you a bitter energy. So you always have to find the happiness and come back to self. Find the things that spark up your bliss. Find the things that spark up your happiness. Find the things that give you that pep in your step again. Because the times where I was lowest in my relationship was the times that I was lowest in my creativity. There were the times I was lowest in my physical fitness. It was the times I was lowest on the things that make me happy in life. I just had no joy in anything, whether it was the money I was making or the music I was making at the time or my lackluster workouts, whatever it was, I wasn't feeling myself. And you have to realize that whoever you're with, they're not going to coddle you. They're not going to fill you with happiness because you have no happiness. As a man, especially as you grow, maybe that applies to you in your teen years, maybe that applies to you in your early 20s, but as you grow as a man, especially when your woman's watching you, all right, she wants to know that you can hold your own with or without her. She needs to know that she gave her energy and time to a man who's worth it. And if you don't even believe your own worth, if you don't even believe in your own hype, she's not going to do it for you, all right? So the best way to get your relationship back on track, it always starts with yourself. And as a man, I always say this, go to the gym. This is the best place, especially if you can't meditate. Okay, the inner work starts within. That's meditation, writing notes, spiritual stuff. But if you're one of those guys who you have trouble sitting with yourself, you have trouble being with your own thoughts because you tend to think negative thoughts, go to the gym. They call it working out for a reason because you're literally working out your bad energy. You're working out your bad thoughts. You can think and dwell on your bad situations in life while you're working out. And you can direct the pain towards that and literally burn it off, work it out of your system. But I do always recommend that when you work out and when you train, it's from a happy place. Make that your happy place where there's no distraction, no negative thoughts, no bullshit. Sometimes you got to turn your phone service off when you work out so you don't get any bad messages, you don't get any distractions, you don't get anything from the outside world. It's you versus you and you're bettering yourself. That is such a foundation place for a man's self-improvement. I'm not saying get obsessed with it. I'm not saying being a gym rat, but 3 to 4 times a week, 3 to 5 times a week, get your ass into the gym and work out. As a man, if you feel lost, if you feel down on yourself, if you feel depressed, if you feel like you're missing something in your life, in your relationship, start in the gym. Why do I say this? We all know the famous stereotype of a guy who gets out of a relationship and he's super depressed and he's in the gym. The first thing most men do when they get out of relationships is they go to the gym. So why not do it in the relationship? Why not do it when you already have the girl? Why not do it when you already have the wife? Don't wait for that low point in your life to start getting high off yourself. Don't wait for that low point in your life to start getting into your physical fitness. Make physical fitness an everyday part of your life because you don't want to be that fat guy that your family doesn't respect. You don't want to be that chubby, out of shape guy that your girl doesn't respect. Everybody respects a man who's in physical fit condition, no matter his age, because it shows you care about yourself. It shows you have self-worth. It shows you have self-confidence. And you know how much I preach confidence on this channel. Your woman will not give you confidence, all right? So the reason why you feel down in your relationship, the reason why you feel sad, the reason why you feel the spark isn't there because you don't have the spark within. When you have the spark within, when you have that joy within, when you have that bliss within, and you got that little pep in your step, your girl is gonna vibe with you because that's the man she fell in love with. Your girl's gonna get horny for you because that's the man she fell in love with. Your girl's gonna get really wet and turned on by you because that is the man she fell in love with. On top of that, a man who's in good physical fit condition and confident in himself, it naturally means he has, for the most part, it probably means he has high testosterone. That is going to be the element that triggers your woman into being attracted to you. That is going to be the element that lets you get that confidence to sometimes pin your girl down against the bed and like it's that feel good feeling because when you're high off you and when you're confident in you, you're high off life, you have a high libido, you have a high energy. Everybody wants to be around you and feed off that energy because you're not a negative space to be around. You're not an annoying person to be around. But when you're depressed and when you're down and you're like, where's the spark of my relationship? Why isn't my girl into me? And all this wham bullshit, your girl's not going to care, man. Your girl's not going to care. She's going to have her eye on that high testosterone guy. She's going to have her eye on that guy with the goals. Okay. So what I'm saying here is get back into your physical fitness, get back into your vision, your creativity, your goals, all that stuff. When you find the sparks in the things outside of your relationship that get you high and happy off life, your woman is going to be very turned on to watch you work. The guys who often say the spark isn't there in their relationship are the guys who are too obsessed with their relationship. Let me say this plain and clear. It turns your woman on to know that you can get other girls, all right? This is something so many guys don't know. You're so like, no, babe, I wasn't looking at that girl. No, it's only you, babe. Sure, whatever. You could play that lovey-dovey game, but at the same time, it's like your girl actually gets turned on knowing that she has a guy who can get other girls. That will bring the spark back. When your girl has a little bit of jealousy, when she's a little bit jealous, when she's like, oh shit, that girl's looking at my man. And when she has a prize that she needs to hold on to, when she got that diamond that she got to hold on to, that's when she gets juicy for you. That's when she feels like you're worth something. That's when she feels like you're worth fucking. You're worth going on dates with. You're worth flirting with. You're worth her dressing up provocative for you. All these kind of things, like you got to be worth it. As a man, you got to be worth it. So when you're like, why isn't my girl touching me? Why isn't she doing this? It's because you're probably not doing the inner work. You're not doing the inner work that you need to do as a man. You're not cultivating your masculinity. And what cultivates your masculinity? Yo, swords, man. Swords are made in fire. Kev, if you're watching this, that was a good ass quote, all right? Swords are made in fire, okay? If you want to be sharp, if you want to be razor sharp, if you want to be on point, you got to forge yourself in the fire, man. Get to work. Your creativity is fire. Your libido is fire. Working out is fire. That's that masculine energy. That's that masculine fire. So do the hard things. Do the warm things. You know what I mean? Like, get to work. You have to work on your masculine craft. Whether that's your vision, your goals, your dreams, anything outside of your relationship. That relationship, it gets hot when everything else about you is hot. You know what I mean? When you're hot in your creativity, when you're close to that goal, when you're retaining, when you keep that fire in, that's what boosts the energy in your relationship. So that's something you need to look at too. If you feel like your marriage is really, really failing, how much are you releasing as a man? Because your semen is warm. Your semen is hot. That's that hot, fiery energy. That's that Kundalini serpent energy that rises up your spine if you want to talk spiritual, all right? The more you guys, especially young men, and older men too, honestly, if you're in front of your screen all day, looking at women on the screen and busting off to women, releasing your fire, your body, your internal temperature is not going to be as warm. That sexual energy that you keep inside is what makes you warm. It's what makes your muscles hard. It's what makes you, it gives you layers and depths to your personality and your being and your charisma that other people can sense. Because think about it. And if you guys don't believe in this stuff, say you're like, oh, this is woo woo semen retention bullshit. Sure, whatever. But you guys know how you feel when you bust off 3, 4, 5 times a week, right? You're a little lower on energy, you're depleted. Some guys will argue they get more energy, I know, but you know that's not true because sexual energy makes you that, it gives you that grit, it gives you that aggression. You know what I mean? When you're craving that woman, when you got that high libido, when you got that high energy, she could feel it. Like I said, she fuels off that masculine fire. She fuels off your emotions and your intensity and your vibration. If you're releasing your life force, and I call it life force because it has the force to create life. So if you always release it and you have a low sperm count, you got nothing, you got no bullets left in the chamber. Do you not feel like the woman who gets impregnated by those bullets can feel your depleted energy? Do you not feel that she can notice when you're low on your masculine juice? That shit is an essence that flows in your body, and it can be smelled and felt by a woman. No doubt it can. No different than how some men can actually pick up that a woman's ovulating based on how she's acting or how she's looking at them. Some men can tell this. Like I can briefly tell when a woman's ovulating. Not always, because they know how to hide it. But what you can't hide as a man is when you're depleted from looking at a screen. The guilt and the shame and the low vibrational energy you carry from not showing your body respect and just busting off all the time. Women can feel this. And I say this because, the top athletes and the top musicians and the top whoever that can get any girl, they're not in front of a screen busting off. They got that creative energy. They got that athletic energy. They got that confidence. They got that grit to them because they're not gooning all the time. If they need to have sex, if they need to be physically intimate, they can get a woman easy. A woman can sense that that's what a top masculine man is. So if you're busting off all the time by yourself, solo, a woman can sense it. She could feel that gooning energy. Other men can feel that gooning energy. I could look at a guy and know that he goons all day, that he probably gooned an hour ago because he can't make eye contact and he's shy and he's a little chubby and he's probably balding and his personality's not there. His energy's dull. You can see all these things in a man. It's very obvious. And I know that because I've been there before. Not to the depths at which some people have been there, but I've been there. I've done all that. I've had that low energy. I've had those teenage habits, but it's time to grow out of that. If you want a better relationship, if you want a better marriage, if you want the spark always there, you have to keep the flame inside. And not only that, you have to channel the flame into aspects around you, whether that's your finances, your creative ideas, your job, your energy, your personality, your charisma, your confidence. It has to have a fire to it. It has to have a fire to it. That's what makes people watch. That's what makes people feel good around you. So guys, if you really want to turn your woman on, get her wet. Get her excited for you. Bring the spark back in your relationship or marriage that's been getting dry. You have to turn yourself on first. And I don't necessarily mean sexually. I mean energetically. I mean mentally. I mean spiritually. I mean physically. You have to turn on all these aspects of you. They have to be red hot. You got to feel good. I feel good right now. I couldn't even tell you why. I just feel good. I feel good doing this. Because I'm not wasting my energy on something else. I feel good right now, right here, right now. And then I get off camera and I feel high off this. I feel real high off this. And I go around my girl and she feels good around me. She feels good to have me around because I did something good. I worked on something I needed to work on. It's so easy to lose your energy and your fire to lust. It's so easy to lose your energy and fire to over-mentalizing women. The head gets hot and fiery when you're thinking about women all the time. I think about girls. I love women. I always say this, but I control it. I regulate it. So if you're low on yourself, if you're down on yourself, if you're down in your relationship, if you're in a place where you feel like you need upliftment, where you feel like you need more energy from your girl and it's just been lacking lately, Man, it starts with the food you eat. It starts with the thoughts you think. It starts with what you work on. It starts with how you work on yourself. It starts with all these self development faculties that you have to cultivate as a young man, that you have to cultivate as an older man, as a mature man. It's never too late to do this, all right? You're a man by design. As a man, you got that fire within. You got a fire inside, and it has to be channeled into specific areas in your life to cultivate your masculinity. But when you're sitting in front of a screen and you're busting it off every single chance you get, you have no energy to fill the vessel of your masculinity, your masculine vessel, your masculine frame. It has to be filled with fire. It has to be backed and forged with that fire. But if you squander it, if you don't respect it, if you waste it, if you neglect it, if you're lazy, if you do all these things that a man has never been meant to do, you won't have that energy and your woman won't get turned on. Now, let me say this. When you do have that energy and you do have that fire and you've channeled it and you've developed your masculinity, now bring it to your girl. All right? Flirt with her. Take her out on dates. Take her to her favorite place. Compliment her highly. Do certain things to encourage her turn on. Like, be smooth. Be sexy with your girl. You have to be a type of energy that isn't dull and boring and lifeless. If you have that full masculine frame and you're just sitting back just waiting for your girl all the time to make the moves, that's not very masculine either. You got to bring the fire to her. You got to make her feel it. You got to press her sometimes. Not too much, because you got to be respectful with women. Even your wife, even your girlfriend, you got to be respectful sometimes. There's a time to be a little more aggressive. There's a time to be a little more soft with your woman. And if you've been with your woman for a long time, it's about time as a man that you learn her cycles. She has a 28-day cycle, and sometimes she's going to want it rough. Sometimes she's going to want it soft. Sometimes she's going to want to feel the fire. Sometimes she wants a controlled fire. There's so many different aspects to how to turn on a woman. But I'm telling you guys, the number one aspect to get that spark back is to light the flame within. All right? Peace, love, knowledge, and protection to you and yours. This is the Cal Bay from Temple Alchemy. Go fix that relationship. Deepen that relationship, all right? I'm out.